Good morning, North Coast. My name is Angelique Phoenix, and I'm so excited to be joining you for our special Women's Day edition of GMNC. Today we celebrate the strength and resilience of women and their contribution to society and our country. We pay tribute to the generations of women whose struggles laid the foundations for the progress made in empowering women and achieving gender equality. To all our North Coast ladies, we salute you and we celebrate you this day. For our morning show, Claudia Greenwood takes her seat to share her daily inspiration, followed by Neville Wolmarans from Ndlondlo Reptile Park, who will share some interesting facts about lady snakes on this Women's Day edition. Sharon Castle shares highlights and learning from her incredible career and the lead up to her recently opening her very own Mindfit Coaching Academy. Bulelwa Sihlali, Kwadukuza resident and a Reverend at the Anglican Church of Southern Africa, is in studio to fill us in on her Mrs. SA 2021 journey so far and how we can support her. And then we will be sharing a pre-recorded interview that Megan did with Julia Sotirianakos, who has been CEO of Reach for a Dream Foundation since 2009, making a difference in the lives of children and fighting life-threatening illnesses. Matt is in for his sports segment, and then Haley and Dion will bring us the weather and surf report for today. We would like to say a big thank you to Performance Coffee, authorized dealer for Euro machined coffee machines, and Salt Rock Coffee as our morning show coffee sponsors. But first, over to Claudia for our Women's Day message. Good morning, Claudia.
Morning, how are you?
Good, and you?
Good, good.
Happy Women's Day.
Yes, and to you too.
Great to have you in studio.
Thank you. So, it's apt to talk about women, and you know what's quite interesting is that not everybody celebrates the day in the same way or attaches the same level of importance to it. So there are a lot of women out there that feel, you know what, they have accomplished and things are equal and they've got opportunities and they've done fabulous things. But that's not the case for everybody. There are a lot of women who aren't recognized, there are a lot of women who are suppressed, and there are a lot of women who aren't acknowledged even in their own household as individuals. And unfortunately, when people experience that, you know, throughout their daily life, it becomes their norm. And it's not normal to be suppressed. So what I want to inspire people to think about today and encourage people is, you know what difference are you making as an individual? Whether you're a woman, whether you're a husband, whether you're an employer, wherever you are, what difference can you make to uplift somebody else? And let's acknowledge that there are still inequalities, and we've actually still got a long way to go. The only time we can stop acknowledging women and uplifting women is when people stop saying, oh, don't worry about that, or you can't do that, or this role is reserved for certain people, or in the household, those are your chores and tasks and so on. So I want to encourage people, if you're a father and a mother, that little girl in your household, what are you saying to her?
Absolutely. Rather
say to her, well, maybe you should be saying to her, you can do anything you like. If you're a husband, how are you encouraging your wife? Is it, you know, go out and follow your dreams. I'm here to support you. If you're in the workplace, what are you doing to uplift people and give people opportunities and encourage people to actually, and women specifically, to take leading roles and see where they can go and what they can do with it. Women wear many, many hats. And just because they can juggle a lot of things, and we know that women do take on a lot and are often, mostly very resilient, it doesn't mean that they can carry the load entirely on their own. Although we feel like sometimes we are invincible, I think at some point we need to recognize that, you know what, give a woman some time out. In the household, kids, pick up something for mom.
Something small, like unpack the dishwasher, or
exactly.
Constant battle.
Exactly. So as we celebrate Women's Day and Women's Month, let's remember that not everybody has it as easy as other people. We do have a long way to go, but you know what? Everybody can do their own little bit. If we all take on the role of let's educate others, so even if we have got it a little bit easier than some people, let's play the role of educating. If we see somebody is not treating somebody else in a fair or respectful way, let's in a kind way, you know, guide them. Not everybody comes from the same sort of background, same circumstances, always had certain opportunities. However, we need to also acknowledge that a lot of people, a lot of women have embraced themselves, their skills, and their tenacity to actually go out and do things. And they're role models, you know. So I want to encourage women as well. A shout out to all women. Absolutely. You know what? Own your place. Show up for yourself. When people give you a compliment, accept it. Take it. Instead of saying, oh no, well this, whatever you complimented me about, you know, actually I'm having a bad hair day. My hair's not so great. Or, yes, I'm juggling things, but oh, you know what, I could be doing better. Stop speaking down. So, women, embrace yourself, recognize what you're doing well, and you know, give yourself some time out. Show yourself respect. Sometimes it's not about doing everything for everybody else, but setting some boundaries for yourself so you can show up better for others. Embrace yourself, celebrate yourself, and if no one's doing anything special for you today, you know what? Look in the mirror. What can you do for yourself?
Absolutely. Okay. And it is, you know, because we're always giving, and you can't keep giving if you're not filling yourself. And it's important to take that time out and spend time with yourself and learn to be comfortable with yourself. I think a lot of women are so busy. Again, their identity is in their children and their relationships and work, and they have to do this. And, you know, you're constantly on the go and you don't realize to just sit down for a moment, just take a deep breath and just embrace yourself and love yourself. And then also celebrating each other. I think another problem that I found with women is they're so critical of each other. And especially on this Women's Day, we just want to encourage them to celebrate each other. You know, stand together. There's unity, or there's power in unity. And, you know, we're all in the same boat. We're all dealing with the same daily issues. Let's help each other. Let's build each other up.
Yes, absolutely, Ange. And, you know, if we are going to say something about another woman, let it be something encouraging. Absolutely. Let it be something that actually builds that person up. It actually shows your personality and where your heart is.
Yes.
And I think that goes a long way to actually show, you know what person are you? Okay. Let's uplift each other.
Fantastic. Absolutely. Great message. Thank you so much, Claudia, for joining us this morning.
Absolutely.
I hope you have an amazing Women's Day.
Thank you.
Treat yourself.
You too. Yes, thank you.
Just a reminder of our GMNC August competition. Have you entered yet? Here is Megan to tell you all about it, followed by an ad break.
A new month, new opportunities, and that is exactly what we are offering on GMNC during the month of August. Get your business noticed by entering our competition to win a free interview on GMNC, putting your brand into the face of thousands of potential customers. Remember, people buy from people. WhatsApp your name, company name, and social media links to 066 232 1385, and you could be this fortunate recipient of this incredible opportunity. A winner per week will be announced live on our Friday shows starting the 6th of August, and a winner each Friday for the remainder of the month.
Freshly ground, not capsuled. Coffee pleasure from Europe.
A new month, new opportunities, and that is exactly what we are offering on GMNC during the month of August. Get your business noticed by entering our competition to win a free interview on GMNC, putting your brand into the face of thousands of potential customers. Remember, people buy from people. WhatsApp your name, company name, and social media links to 066 232 1385, and you could be this fortunate recipient of this incredible opportunity. A winner per week will be announced live on our Friday shows starting the 6th of August, and a winner each Friday for the remainder of the month.
Welcome back to GMNC. Right now we have Neville from Ndlondlo Reptile Park with us. Good morning, Neville.
Good morning.
How are you?
I am strong like a lion.
We're missing Helen today. I hope you gave her the day off.
It's Mother's Day, or not, Women's Day. And when we were getting up this morning, I said to her, listen, there's no snakes we're waving around. I really don't need a backup handler. And would you like to stay in bed just a little bit longer? And she took the opportunity
Just
like a flash.
Just like to cap that offer very quickly.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Neville, I believe you're going to be chatting to us about mommy snakes today.
Well, female snakes.
Okay.
Yeah, mommy snakes is quite a different issue.
Okay.
But yeah, I just want to add that Claudia really set the bar high today.
She did, huh?
You know, very, very encouraging. And I just want to say that I see women changing, and I'm not just talking about grown women, I'm seeing them in kids.
Yes.
And people come to the park, and you take out a snake who wants to touch. Guess who steps forward first?
The young girls.
The young girls.
They're not scared. Fearless.
The boys stand back, and the girls. And I've been criticized amongst other snake handler trainers
Yes.
for the increasing amount of women that I train up.
What?
Yeah, there seems to be this perception that
The women are not allowed to.
No, women shouldn't be dealing with dangerous snakes.
Oh my
you know?
goodness, yes.
And let me tell you that every bit as competent as the men.
Absolutely.
They may be
100%.
physically a little bit limited, but you just adapt your training technique around the capability of the person, and they make excellent handlers.
Oh, thank you for that, Neville.
No, it is. But yes, back to female snakes. You know, female snakes enjoy a privilege that that most women don't enjoy.
Okay.
And you know, we as humans are social animals, and it's good that a woman has a husband, a good one.
Yes.
All right.
Hundreds. Yes.
Okay. Just as it is important for a man to have a good wife.
True.
But it's the same way around. Now, in snakes, there's none of that. So this female snake, when it comes time when the urges come on and she needs to reproduce, she'll use a pheromone trail, and then she normally finds a fairly high vantage point, and she'll watch that trail. And then as the males pick up on that, they come along and they start vying for top position. And she can sit and watch this whole MMA match play out in front of her and decide, that one.
That's the one.
That's the guy.
That's my warrior.
And then it comes up, you see, and they'll do the deed, and they'll split off.
That's it. She
Now,
just used them.
there's no getting up early to wash his socks,
None of that.
or cook his breakfast, or whatever, prepare his meals, make sure he's got his lunchbox. There's none of that. It's her.
Okay.
Okay, so call that an advantage. I don't know sometimes, but it seems to work for reptiles. Okay? And then she'll be going along and she'll find, yes, here's another handsome dude. My goodness, this guy should be the father of my children. And she mates with him.
Oh my goodness.
And then she might find a third one and a fourth one. And she'll do that. And people will think, my goodness, what a promiscuous woman, you know? But come time,
Yeah.
remember, I should have added earlier, she doesn't immediately fertilize sperm.
Okay.
So the sperm is retained,
Yes.
and there's a selective period. She'll ovulate.
Yes.
When she ovulates, then the sperm is taken and processed.
Okay.
And she'll decide, you know, number 4 was the best choice I could have made.
She can actually decide
And
which sperm.
she takes number 4 sperm.
Oh, that's incredible.
Now next year, she doesn't get lucky. She says, number 3 was the next best choice, so
Not
she
good.
takes number 3.
So how long can that process, I mean, so
4,
they can
4 5
live-
years
That is amazing.
that she can produce.
Wow.
Now, this whole reproduction thing in snakes has to strike a balance, because as women mothers would know, that being pregnant takes a toll on your body. And just imagine if you're not just carrying one, but you're carrying 8, 9, up
9.
to 50, 60 eggs or babies.
Yes.
You know, this becomes
That's
quite a strain on your body. So obviously those snakes that produce high numbers at one go will have one shot at the breeding season. And so they will only breed once in that season. But the smaller snakes that produce less, and providing that the food source is in balance, this female will be able to drop her eggs, run off, and go and get a couple of quick meals, hop in the Tassos, watch the rugby, and select another gentleman, you know. If it's better than number 3,
Yes.
well, then he just takes the place, you see. And then the whole process happens. So snakes like brown house snakes, which are prolific, females can drop up to 4 clutches in a year,
Wow.
if conditions are good.
Oh, good enough. Okay.
In areas where it isn't, 1 clutch a year.
Okay.
So there's this whole process. That's for the egg-laying snakes.
Yes.
Then there's another group of snakes that give live birth.
Yes.
And I say this in layman's terms, live birth. They are eggs that are retained internally and kept until hatch date, and then babies are born live.
Okay.
And no sooner have they hit the ground and mom's off looking for a rat.
Really? So
Okay.
they're self-sustained.
Yeah.
They don't need mommy to
They don't
nurture
need
them
mommy.
or
So
teach them anything.
everything is sort of genetically pre-programmed
That is phenomenal.
into their being.
Wow.
So that's one strain that's taken off female snakes. Now, have you done your homework? If you don't pass this year, I'm telling you, you know, and none of that sort of story. She looks after herself.
Wow.
That is it. And I may add that they do quite a good job.
And would she know if she comes across another snake down the line? Would she know if that was one of her
No, she
own
wouldn't.
babies? No, wouldn't.
No, she wouldn't.
Okay.
There's a lot of snakes that eat other snakes.
Yes.
And those snakes, and in particular in South Africa, we've got the Southern African rock python that incubates its eggs, and then we've got the scarp sticker that also stays with the eggs until just before the hatch.
Okay.
And because scarp stickers are inclined to eat other snakes, just before the hatch, mom says, I'm out of here before I eat my own kids.
Oh, wow, that is phenomenal.
So that's an interesting
That's
process.
incredible.
Okay. Yeah, there's quite a few pros and cons on this whole issue.
Yes.
Food source is your primary determining factor, and then obviously temperatures and so on. The advantages of egg laying is that a female can get to up to 4 clutches a year if conditions are correct, because the gestation period is quite a bit shorter than for those that retain the egg internally, which is a lot longer period, the live bearers. And so the live bearers will generally all just have 1 throw at the season, whereas the egg layers will have multiple ones.
That is
But the downside is the egg layer will deposit eggs over here, and the female will depart. And those eggs are susceptible to predation.
Okay.
They're influenced by weather changes. If it's very dry, they're going to dehydrate and they probably won't hatch. If it's very wet, they may actually drown. And if the temperatures fluctuate a lot, they're stuck over there. Whereas females that give live birth, the female has got built-in armed response unit, because if you want to fiddle with the eggs, you've got to fiddle with her.
Okay.
You know?
Oh, wow.
So
Yes.
just like every other chick on the block, she just presses the panic button. She goes, no, I'm joking. She sorts it out herself. And then she can also regulate the temperature at which the embryo develops.
Okay.
So if it's too cold, she goes and finds a place where it's warmer, which eggs can't do. And if it's too hot, she goes and finds a place that is cooler, which eggs can't do.
Okay.
And so there's a few advantages to
Of
that.
course. Yes.
And we see, generally speaking, that the health of live young is way better than that of egg layers.
And with those type of snakes, when they are pregnant, where do they normally lay their eggs? Is it like, do we have to be scared that they would come into your home? Or is pregnant mummies quite, they go find a space and stay out of?
Not really. You know, eggs require warm and slightly damp places. Now, there's not many homes that that sort of offer spaces like that. Yeah, there are the guys that grow indoor plants, and that's, you know, that's damp and so on, and you're going to plant your plant in a compost mix, which will generate a bit of heat and so on. Generally speaking, they want to find places where they can hide the eggs in the dark.
Okay.
The reptile eggs don't like bright light.
So out of sight, okay.
Out of sight. And that also puts me out of sight for predators.
That's awesome. Okay.
All right. And then, like I said, dampish places.
Fantastic. That is awesome, Neville. Thank you so much. It was great having you in studio with us. I'm sure we'll see you again next week, next Monday.
Next week.
Hopefully you have a snake for us to hold.
Yes, next week we actually bring a really scaly guy next week.
Oh, okay. We're very excited about that one. Again, please don't harm our snakes. There's always different solutions to look or get them out of our way. But we're going into a quick ad break, and then we will be chatting to Sharon Castle from Mindfit Coaching Academy. Stay tuned.
Hi guys, Jason here from Chapman Building. Looking forward to introducing a new 13-episode series called Under Construction with Chapman Building. We will be covering various aspects of the building industry and our business to educate and help Belita residents understand more about the building industry.
Welcome back to our Good Morning North Coast show. With me now we have Sharon Castle from Mindfit Coaching Academy. Good morning, Sharon.
Hi, Ange. How are you?
I'm good, and yourself?
Very well, thank you.
Sharon, you're no stranger to the studio, and thank you so much for sharing this Women's Day morning show with us. On that, thank you for sharing your own personal story with us today. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about who's Sharon and what is your background?
Great. Well, thank you. It does feel a bit strange being here.
It is different.
So, well, I've been coaching for over 38 years. It's quite a long time. And when I started, there was no such thing as a life coach. You know, we were consultants. We spoke in front of audiences. I've always been a speaker. And I studied to be a coach probably about 19 years ago with a company called Results Coaches. They were affiliated to New York University. So the accreditation was good. But 25 years ago, just before I got my accreditation, I went through a major trauma. And I think that's what solidified for me the fact that I wanted to really help people, because once you've been through a trauma in your life or a major life event, it gives you some kind of resiliency.
It does.
And it involved the death of a child. It was quite traumatic. I was there, I was present, and it basically created a situation in my life and my family where everything fell to pieces. There was a stage in my life where I was addicted, overweight, suicidal. And I think when somebody walks into your coaching practice and they say, you know, there's this and you don't understand, you put your hand up and you say, been there, been there. I'm not saying that that's what makes a really good coach, but it does kind of add to the influence that you might have because you've had first-hand experience.
I feel you can relate as well. You know,
Absolutely.
when you go for counselling with someone, you want to feel that they've been in a similar position, that they can relate and you guys can connect on the same level. So that's very
at some level that is important. So last year during lockdown, 3 weeks into lockdown, I lost my sister. She was not from COVID. And there was a time where I felt that I just didn't have enough hours in the day. I was dealing with my own grief. I was also dealing with a lot of clients on the end of a phone. There were several suicides, and I just felt something needs to be done.
Absolutely.
I'm the kind of person that if I get that sort of feeling, I know it's divinely guided.
Absolutely.
I just know that. And I took a few days, and eventually I kind of got this download, almost like, you know, try and help more people. And so I started to get the idea that if I could just help 1 or 2 more people and they could do the work that I was doing, that would be amazing. And Mindfit Coaching Academy was born in the middle of lockdown.
Absolutely.
So, you know, all I wanted to do was help people who wanted to help people. And Mindfit Coaching Academy was originally going to be called the Little School of Big Change. And, you know, we had so many people wanting to come on board when I just put that out there, and I said, you know, are there people that want to help other people? We got hairdressers, accountants, bookkeepers, restaurant owners. And those are the people that were really living in real life who were saying, I've seen people who need help. And so out of the people that came to be life coaches, I handpicked 11 of them.
Oh, wow.
And those 11 people are halfway through their coaching program. They're about to do their next 3-day intensive. It's a program that is really going to give them a great qualification. I've packed and synthesized the information I've gathered over the last 38 years, and I've put it all into this program, and I'm very, very excited about it because there aren't enough coaches.
There isn't.
You know, there are people that really would like to access information from somebody who's been in their field. And so if you take a hairdresser who wants to actually help her client that's sitting on the chair, all those lovely women on Women's Day, in 30 minutes she could have some tools that I've given her that will help that woman to now go and seek some more help. So Mindfit is really about being psychologically fit.
Okay.
And I love the word because it gives you that idea that it's not just about a mental state. It's holistic. There's incredibly integrated every single part of you, and it's also about it being emotionally resilient. And we are as women, and we need to make ourselves even more emotionally resilient. Now that doesn't mean that we have to be tough. We have to be loving. We have to be kind. The world doesn't need any more tough people with grandiose ideas. The world needs loving, kind people. So, you know, whether you're a male or a female and you want to be a coach, if you've got that connection with another human being, that's what makes a good coach. If you see the pain and the suffering of other people and you want to help them, that's what makes a good coach. So I'm hoping that we're going to produce these awesome coaches in November as graduation for them. They would have been on a training program that will give them so many tools in their toolbox added to their life experience. So, you know, that's where we're headed.
That's, you know, I looked on your website and I just love what you said. You know, you obviously come from a corporate background, very successful, you know, in that arena. And you said, you know, the whole principle behind your academy was, you know, changing from success to significance.
Totally.
And I absolutely love that because, you know, we live in a world today where times are so different.
Totally.
You know, it's not, it's very new to all of us, and you can just see there's that need for people to encourage each other. There's that need, you know, our houses and all those things are it's not even important anymore. It's really about the difference you make in other people's lives and how you're able to uplift each other and just carry each other in this time.
Yes, and you know, there's a beautiful quote on what you said. I think it was Maya Angelou who said, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And for me, that really speaks volumes.
100%.
You know, it doesn't matter all the PhDs you can have at the end of your name or the beautiful homes and the cars. If you don't care about other people, well then, you know, what is it that you are here with? What purpose are you here?
Correct.
Just to make money? Money's great, and I like money because it empowers other people.
Absolutely.
But I can still be a very kind and caring person without money. And in fact, some of the best people are.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what is amazing to me.
Sharon, then just in terms of your courses, how does that work? Is it online training? Is it in person? In terms of the duration, you know, what types of programs are you running? If you can just share a little bit of that.
Well, the training program for coaches is a long one, and we only do that once a year.
Okay.
So our intake will be in 2022, but we have got an awesome program that we are launching this week. It's called Awakening, and it's helping people to really wake up to who they are. The principles of mind, consciousness, and thought. So we take those principles, it's based, and the foundation of the program is based on those principles to help people to understand that thought is just, it's got no power until you put consciousness in. That gives rise to whatever it is you're trying to make in this world, what you're trying to create in this world. And mind is really about that resiliency, but there's two levels of mind. It's personal mind, the way you wired, your programming, and then there's universal mind, that I call universal mind. And that's accessing all the genius that you need. Everyone has that.
Of course.
There's not a single person on this planet that does not have that. And if you understand that who you are right now will give you access to everything you need in the future, you've got everything you need now. There's nothing to fix. You are who you need to be now.
Yes.
And all we do at Mindfit is help you to uncover those things that you've maybe built over the years and programmed yourself to think that you can't. And that's not true. That's a lot of BS. You can.
Yes.
Otherwise, you wouldn't still be here. There is something for you to do. So Awakening is running soon. We're starting it in the next 3 weeks. It's open to everybody. It's the same training program that coaches get without the coaches training. So it's the foundation, it's the building, it's the grounding of what you need to understand about you, the human psyche, how you work. We use quantum science, we use metaphysics, we use science, we use spirituality. It's an all-encompassing program that gives you everything you need. You'll never need anything else.
That sounds amazing.
So if you can get really comfortable with those principles, mind, consciousness, and thought, and it might not make sense to anybody, but once you've been through the training, that is it. There's nothing more that you will ever need. So yeah, if people are interested, they can get onto my website. You know, I'm on Instagram, so there's lots of places they can find me. They can just Google me. They'll find me there as well.
Mindfit Coaching Academy.
Mindfit Coaching Academy, otherwise SharonCastleCoaching.com.
Perfect. And do you have any promotions running for the month of August?
Well, for the month of August, Awakening is starting, and it's been given at a very special price. So, you know, it would normally be much more expensive, but because, you know, it's the first time program, we like to give those foundational members something worth getting. And I know next year it's probably going to be more expensive. So this is the time to jump on board, because it's a little school of big change, but I think it's going to become a big school of bigger change. That's the purpose.
Phenomenal. Thank you so much, Sharon. It was great chatting to you this morning.
Thank you.
Very exciting. To our viewers, please go and Google Sharon now. I think you're in for a great session, a great course, life-changing stuff, really.
Thank you.
We're heading into a quick ad break, and then we'll have Bully, Mrs. SA semi-finalist, in studio. Stay tuned.
In life, we all want to achieve something. The dreams we believe in, the goals we want to achieve, and the problems that we want to overcome. But what holds us back?
I'm not a good wife. My children deserve a better mom. Maybe I should just end it all. I will never be enough.
Negative thinking should not be taken seriously. All it means is that the negative feeling and thinking has become a toxic, bad habit. And it's the feeling that actually keeps you stuck. To live a happy life, you need to realize that your feelings are simply an indication of your thinking. As your life coach, I help you realize where your thinking is keeping you stuck. You already have everything that you need within you to live a happy life.
Can my business survive the setback? How will I provide for my family? I feel so discouraged.
Feeling discouraged simply means that you have discouraging thoughts, and that makes you feel powerless and lose hope. This is never true. The only way out of a problem is to go inside of yourself and realize that you've simply got stuck in the feeling of that perceived problem. There's always a way out when you realize that it's really your thoughts that are creating your thinking. And that's what impacts the way that you live your life and the way that you act in your life. It really is an inside-out solution. Feeling stressed about the past or anxious about the future means that you're never fully present in the moment, and you can only ever make change in the present moment, moment by moment by moment.
Thank you, Sharon, for helping me understand how my mind really works. I'm so much more at peace knowing that nothing in my past has the power to stop me from being happy and fulfilled in my present life, no matter what my circumstances are.
Remember that not everything you think is real, nor should it be taken seriously. Negative or sad thoughts are simply bad habits that have been hardwired into your brain over time. Recognize that negative feelings are simply an indication that you are having negative thoughts. If you get into the habit of noticing that, your life will change dramatically and everything will feel better. And when you feel better, you do better. That's called having a positive mindset. I'm Sharon Castle, and I can help you start your journey today.
Welcome back to GMNC. With me right now, I have Bulelwa, Mrs. SA Semi-Finalist 2021. How are you, Bully?
I'm good.
Great to have you here this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Bully, for those of our viewers who don't know who you are, tell us a little bit more about who you are, what your involvement is with this pageant.
Well, my name is Bulelwa Sihlali,
Okay.
Wuli. A lot of people kind of like, spell my surname wrong or just pronounce it in the wrong way. That's why I prefer them to just say Wuli, Wuli. You know the song Wuli Wuli, yeah.
Rolls off the tongue so easily.
So Ubuli is a Mrs. SA semi-finalist, and she's also a Reverend in the Anglican Church of Southern Africa.
My goodness.
She's married to Bruce Woolley, who's also a Reverend.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, in the Anglican Church. So me and my husband, both are Reverends.
Okay.
And I am a mother to an incredible 16-year-old girl.
I can't even, you just told me that before there. I was like, what is your secret for looking this way?
So I grew up in the Eastern Cape,
Okay.
And I just recently moved, here with my husband.
Okay.
And one of the things that is happening right now is that I've been a priest for 9 years now.
Okay.
I was the youngest female clergy in the Diocese of Umtata. I moved from a patriarchal diocese to the Diocese of Natal, where everything, where I grew up, women have been put in a place where, you know what, this is your place.
Of
so now
course.
I've moved aside and everything
Very
is just different. So I'm kind of trying to learn what everything is all about. But Ubuli is also a person that believes in giving back and paying forward. And she believes that young women, she's all about young women. Young women need to have a place in the world. And how do we, as the older women, have to mentor the younger generation to be in a place where they know who they are.
Correct.
They know their identity. Because I've seen and I've been in places and in communities where young women don't know who they are. And sometimes they get lost in the midst of the world telling them this is who you are. But I've created and founder of Sister to Sister, Still She Rises, NPC, where we empower young women, because I believe that we don't wait for women to turn 18, but we have to teach them and have to empower and encourage them when they actually turn 8. When they're 8 years of age, you have to really, really, really instill the values and everything that you need to teach them.
18 is too late, because then your learning years are over.
It
the
is.
Foundations are built when they are young.
Yes, because when they reach that stage, that's when they actually go out into the world, and then now they get lost. But if you actually teach them the foundations of who they are and they identify with themselves, and then they won't actually be told by the world, this is who you are.
Absolutely.
So that is who Ubuli is. And I've entered Mrs. SA. Well, that's quite funny, because my daughter is the one that encouraged me to enter Mrs. South Africa. And she said, Mommy, you have been a priest for 9 years, and you've done a whole lot of things, but it is if, the church itself has put you in a box. It has put you in a place where, you know what, you are in religion. You can't do anything else. And I don't like that.
Absolutely.
Because you are more than just being in that box.
Absolutely.
You can do a whole lot of other things. And she encouraged me. Now, when my daughter encourages you, she gives you scripture, she gives you a whole lot of quotes and all of that, and then she says, go pray about it, go think about it, and let's see what's going to happen. So I entered Mrs. SA having in mind that I'm not only entering for myself, I'm entering for her. And I'm entering for the women that I walk alongside with. So far my journey has been amazing, because I've met wonderful women, women that I didn't think that I would meet through this journey.
Absolutely.
And I've met wonderful people that have encouraged me. I mean, I'm new in Balito. I'm new. I don't know anyone. But I've met people that really, really are touching my life and their story. They're sharing their stories with me, and those stories, I'm able to pour into my own journey.
Absolutely.
The stories that they tell me, and they encourage me. And I've met Barry. I don't know if you know Barry.
Everybody knows Barry.
I remember when I said to Cara, the admin clerk at Allsouls, I said to her, you know what, I need a photographer.
Yes.
And Cara said, this is the list, And Cara actually, I said, okay, which one is the best? And she said, no, go pray about the names, and then you'll find the person. And I spoke to Barry and Denise, and I was like blown away.
Absolutely.
Such love.
Hundreds.
And the love and the care they have for other people. And that love now is pouring onto me, and I'm pouring the same love to other people.
Absolutely.
And I've met wonderful women that have opened their hearts for me. They don't know me. You know what's amazing about Balito is that
I just wanted to
they don't know
such
me.
an amazing time.
They don't know me, but they're saying, Buli, we're trusting your journey. We're trusting what you're doing. Because right now I'm busy with a school shoe drive. I've adopted the school Dinipozo. I've adopted the Inkwazi preschool that is in Nkobongo. And I'm doing a school shoe drive for them, the Dinipozo school. And I'm doing a diaper and formula drive for single women that are mothers in Komongo. And I'm also planning a camp for these girls that are mentoring in Kwadukuza. And I've come into this space and I've introduced myself and I said, you know what, this is the things that I've been doing in Umtata, I've been doing in the Isiki, I've been doing Port Elizabeth. So I want to do these things here. And these women have opened their hearts and they said, Buli, we want to walk alongside of you in your journey.
That is amazing. Bully, obviously we want to support you. Belito is behind you 100%. How do we follow you? How do we support you in this journey? What do you need from us?
Well, how you can support me is you can vote for me.
How do we vote?
We vote Bulelwa Sihlali 35995.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you can follow me on Instagram or Facebook. Or if you want to walk alongside of me, you can sponsor me if you want to.
And how do we go about that?
How you go about that, I think you can actually get in contact with me.
Okay.
If you don't have my number, I think Barry put my number out there. If you don't have my number is 0647969256, or you can contact me on Facebook or Instagram.
Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah. And the journey for Mrs. South Africa has been amazing. It has transformed me. The reason why I entered also, not just my daughter, but I've seen the women that come out of that, the rebirth. You know, it's like this newness of life, you know, in the pageantry. And I don't call it a pageant. You know, I said this to Leslie, I said, I don't call it a pageant, I call it a program, because what I've learned, oh my goodness. It needed me to go back because I started public relations. So I had to go back, you know, and refresh my mind, you know, about PR and all of that. And how do you speak to people? Because when you're a priest, the only thing you focus on is you have to stand in the pulpit and you have to preach. When you have to go and visit people, you know, people that are sick, people that, you know, really encourage them. And that's what you do. But now I stepped out of my comfort zone and I was meeting business people. Amazing. And I had to, you know, kind of like brush up on my skills with that one. You know, so it's been amazing.
Brilliant, amazing. We are very excited for you. I think our town is very excited to have you join us and what you're standing for. I think you're going to make such a difference and we wish you all the best. We are behind you all the way.
Thank you
to our viewers, please go vote for Bully and support her on her mission and her foundations and everything she's supporting. But we're heading into a quick ad break and then we will bring you a pre-recorded interview with Julia, CEO of Reach for a Dream Foundation. Stay tuned.
Good morning and welcome back to GMNC. Right now we are super excited to chat to Julia, the CEO of Reach for Dream. Welcome, Julia.
Hi, Megan. Thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you for joining me. So, Julia, tell me a little bit more about yourself. Who are you?
So I'm just an ordinary person, Megan. I work at Reach for a Dream Foundation. We fulfill dreams for children with life-threatening illnesses. I really feel completely blessed to work at the foundation for the past 14 years. Beside me in fulfilling children's dreams are really a group of wonderful board members who are committed and offer their time voluntarily, and staff members and volunteers that give of themselves every day to ensure that children have a dream and their dream is fulfilled.
Oh, that's wonderful. It's absolutely incredible what you do, really. So tell me about you becoming CEO of Reach for Dream.
I started out at Reach for Dream 14 years ago. I actually started out as the fundraising manager. And 2 years later, I was promoted to the CEO. But at Reach for Dream Foundation, the values and the work that we do and the whole culture is not really just about the titles and what people are called. It's really what we do and how we inspire children to have hope, strength and courage to ensure. So when we're all together making dreams come true, I'm not the one doing it. It's the team around me. And you know, at the risk of sounding corny, there's no I in team, and it really is a team effort across the country. From incredible women who are our branch managers, who give of themselves as well, just as equal.
That's beautiful, Julia. I love it. I'm getting goosebumps where I sit right now. So what is your vision for Reach for a Dream?
So we really have come out of a very difficult time. I think COVID has had a lot of negative impacts, but I think in the middle of COVID, with all the uncertainty and all the noise, I think what we needed to do was just be still and try and find some positives for our children. And yeah, I think that a lot of people say when we get back to normal, and you know, we're not going to get into if there is going to be a back to normal, but for Reach for a Dream, it's around how we're going to navigate the next 2 to 3 years in this situation that we're in, you know, and how do we go through this global pandemic, being innovative, stronger, and still fulfilling children's dreams, because our children are in hospital, their immune systems are low, they're vulnerable. So how do we still create that magic, you know, if we do get a restricted on level 5 or level 4 again, how do we maintain that? So for us, our vision is to go forward with the same positivity and encouragement that we've had during COVID to fulfill children's dreams, and to ensure that we develop and we grow and we innovate ourselves and the foundation for our children to receive their dreams. So children will still receive their dreams. It's just the how, and you know, ensuring that the magic is still there.
Yes. Well, Julia, I think that the world needs more people like you, and what you do is really, really wonderful. I just think that the children are so thankful for people like you, really. So in this past year, everything was just crazy. So how's this past year been for you?
I think it's not easy to navigate the situation. I think, you know, business leaders, companies were folding and retrenching and closed down, and you know, charities were not part of the agenda in terms of how do we still contribute to charities. And I think one of the things that we are most proud of is the amazing relationships that we have with our donors, who may have not given us as much as they would have, as you know, if it wasn't COVID, but they still gave us and they still contributed. Yes. Our directors on the board, who run businesses themselves, still gave us their time, their expertise and their guidance to try and navigate this shift. And really it was just about, you know, when you're in that pandemic and you just see the loyal people really step up for you, and not for me or, you know, individuals, but for children with life-threatening illnesses. You know, we have this project called VR Experiences in hospitals, where we give children VR goggles and they can still experience walking through a forest or touching a dolphin. And you know, when we first said to some of our partners, Eden was one of them, Fine Health Group was another, we just said, guys, we can't get to the hospitals. I think one of those things was that it was very emotional on one level, because for 33 years Reach for a Dream is in the children's hospitals.
Yes.
And now we can't be in the hospital anymore.
Oh my word, that's crazy.
So when I threw it out to the partners and I said, guys, we need to be in the hospital without being in the hospital.
Yes.
You know, this VR initiative came up, and donors felt compelled to contribute and do something. And I think that will always be something that I will take with me, even beyond Reach for a Dream and into my old age, because it's really during the difficult times that people can really, really shine and show you, this is who I truly am, this is my true colors. And I'm just blessed to have witnessed just the generosity, the the beautiful people that Reach for a Dream is surrounded by every single day. And that's our donors, our staff members who give, over and beyond, our volunteers who kept calling us and saying, I really want to get into the hospitals, our doctors and our healthcare workers really in the front line who still have time, even if their ward has been converted into a COVID ward, still have time to call us and tell us, this little girl or this little boy needs a dream. Please help us. So really, it was a bad time for many, and I think after so many days and a year and a bit of living in this, I think we need to really pick ourselves up and say, how do we go through this? Because it's not going to stop, and how do we reinvent ourselves for this new way? Because it is a new way. And we can all just give up and say it's never going to be like it was, or we can say, for our children, that's the inspiration. How do we do things a bit better? How do we keep inspiring hope when everything around us is just hopeless?
That's beautiful. So, Julia, how can people reach you? Do you have any social media where people can follow you? If people want to help, how can they contribute to you?
Yes, so the best thing to do is just go onto our website, which is www.reachforadream.org.za. All our social media handles are on the website, as well as ways to contribute and assist. People can go and sign up for a My School card at Woolworths, and every single time they shop at Woolworths, they can swipe and we get points. You don't have to give cash. You can contribute in any way that you want to. All the options and alternatives are on our website to make a difference.
Yes. So, Julia, do you have a small message for the women out there celebrating Women's Day?
Yeah, I think Women's Day is it's a beautiful day to celebrate women and the role that women play in communities. And if we look at For a Dream as a foundation, our field workers, our graduates, our staff members are mostly women, and the role of these women are not just in Reach for a Dream, but they are mothers, daughters, sisters, they're caregivers, they're breadwinners, they look after their entire family and then their extended community. So it really is inspiring, and I think that we should celebrate women and absolutely spend the 9th of August doing something for yourself, because as women we're always doing something for everyone else. Just sit back and reflect. And to all the beautiful nurses and doctors that work in the front line every single day, to take a moment and just to thank them and think of them on the 9th of August as well.
Definitely. Well, Julia, it was so wonderful chatting to you. You are such an inspiration. I'm going to remember you for the rest of my life. But thank you for what you do for the children out there. It's something just beautiful. Well, there you have it. Thank you for Julia joining us. Next up, we have Matt giving us a sport update.
Morning, sports fans. Let's kick it off with some news from Tokyo 2020. And Tokyo handed its Olympic flag to the Mayor of Paris on Sunday, setting the stage for the next Games in 2024 at the closing ceremony that featured park scenes of both cities, emphasizing human contact even as the pandemic continues. In Tokyo, athletes got a surreal glimpse of everyday Tokyo life on Sunday when the closing ceremony was briefly transformed into a park with grass, buskers and BMX riders, and a valediction after weeks spent in a regime of pandemic games performed by performers danced, skipped and played soccer, mingling and waving to athletes who gathered closely together on the grass. Organizers said the scene was meant so that they could experience Tokyo in a poignant nod. The fact that the games many spent their time at the games cooped up in rooms and competing venues. Now moving to some football news, and Jack Grealish's Manchester City debut was spoiled by Iheanacho as Leicester strikers' late penalty clinched a 1-0 win in the Community Shield on Saturday. All eyes were on Grealish, who came on as a second half substitute following his British record £100 million move from Aston Villa on Thursday. After training with his new teammates for the first time on Friday, Grealish replaced Sam Ndozi in the 65th minute and looked lively in his cameo appearance. Grealish, the most expensive English player of all time, carried more threat than any other of his teammates, but Grealish's first game in the City shirt ended in disappointment as Iheanacho netted the last-minute winner from the penalty spot after the Nigerian was hauled down by Nathan Ake. Moving to some rugby news now, and Springbok fly Morné Steyn was understandably the centre of attention after his team's win over the British and Irish Lions in the third test in Cape Town on Saturday, after he had a fairy tale moment and kicked the winning penalty 12 years after doing exactly the same thing in 2009. The 37-year-old was hailed as the hero in the book victory, which came after they had very little possession in the game and lived on the scraps held out an incredible defensive win. Steyn said he couldn't quite remember the kick from 12 years ago, but it was almost the exact same situation that allowed him to have a shot to kick for glory. Moving to some results now from some local rugby in the Currie Cup. Results from Friday afternoon. The Grit was going down at home to the Lions 45-42, and the Sharks with a much-needed win at home, defeating the Bulls 35-28. In Saturday's only fixture, Western Province getting the better of the Cheetahs 40-39. Moving to some cricket news now. In the first test between England and India in Trent Bridge ended in a draw after rain meant no play was possible in Sunday's last day. The opening match of the 5-test series between England and India was an intriguingly poised at 52 for 1 in their second innings, needing a further 157 runs to reach their victory target of only 209, but rain meant no play was possible as the scheduled start at 12 noon on Sunday. Following further heavy downpours, the umpires abandoned the match a little bit later at 5:49. And finally, moving to some MotoGP news now, and rookie George Martin of Ducati cruised to his first MotoGP victory at the Styrian Grand Prix on Sunday, finishing comfortably ahead of Spanish compatriot and reigning champion Joan Mir on the Suzuki. The French championship leader Fabien Quartararo on his Yamaha was third place and had to be restarted after the KTM and Spaniard Dani Pedrosa and Aprilia Italian Lorenzo Savaldo was caught on fire in the middle of the track following the crash. I'm Matt Williams for Good Morning North Coast Sport. You have yourself an awesome sporting week, and we'll catch you back here on Friday. Coming up next, we're going to see what's happening in the weather and surf.
Good morning everyone, and welcome to your weather for today, brought to you by Belito Gas and Bride. Today will be breezy and not as warm, with times of clouds and sun. We have a high of 23 degrees and a low of 14 degrees. The real feel will be 23 degrees as well, and the real feel shade 21 degrees. Vandag se wind is verseker 'n man want hy gaan rokkies oplig. We have a south-southwesterly wind at 22 kilometers per hour and wind gusts at 33 kilometers per hour. Also, we have an 18% chance of showers. The sunrise will be at 6:34 a.m. and the sunset at 5:28 p.m. Next up will be your surf report, brought to you by Tina Skryfbehoeftes and Dion Bosman from Victory Surf. Happy Women's Day.
Good morning, Belito, and welcome to Monday morning's Beach Report. And if you've just woken up, you'll see that big westerly has come through already and is going to blow at about 25 to 30 knots today. So definitely a no surf day, definitely no waves to be had except for the kiteboarders and the windsurfers. They're going to have a festival out there because it's a public holiday and you're going to see lots of kites in the sky this afternoon. I think it's probably going to be a very, very miserable surf if you do try and go out. So please be careful. It is extremely windy today. Stay off the beaches if you can, and maybe just go and watch the kite surfers. It's going to be a great day for them. We'll talk again tomorrow.
And that brings us to the end of our Good Morning North Coast show for today. Thank you again to all our guests and our viewers. Remember to treat the women in your life extra special today. We will be closing off with a music showcase from Rowan Stewart and then Laugh Out Larry for the young ones. Remember to tune in tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. We'll see you there.
Life is drumming inside, an urgent heartbeat. But what keeps me alive? What is it I need? Keep me standing and fill my lungs. Fire, give me light when the darkness comes. Water, quench my thirst with the life you give. And you give me reason